shining sea, she is calling to me. Oh, I'm coming back home to Ireland.
Céad míle fáilte, 100,000 welcomes to Irish Paint Magic. Today I'm going to Connemara, right up to the west of Ireland. And here again I have my standard 24 by 18. And what we're going to do is some mountains and some bog and maybe a lake. We'll see as we go along. Already I've painted in the basic shape with black gesso, left it dry. It will dry in just in a few minutes. And now I need to coat that up with liquid clear, sparingly. So I cover the whole lot. It doesn't really matter if you go up into the liquid white or up here to the white part of the canvas. That doesn't matter. Just go over the whole lot, but spread it out. Do not, and I repeat, do not put on too much, because it will only run down the canvas on you. Now, a lot of people think if they put on an extra bit, it will be better. It will not. It will actually be worse. So be very sparingly with it. All you really want to do is get a slip. Just get a slip on the canvas. The canvas is too dry otherwise. And that's all we want to do, is get a slip on the canvas. Now that's fine. And all now I need to do is paint the top half of the canvas, this part, with liquid white. So go straight in. There's no need to clean the brush. No need at all. And cover all the white part with liquid white. And again, I can't stress it enough, do not put on too much. I will now show you shortly how to make a test on this. If you put on too much, you'll only go messy, it's too gooey. And it doesn't matter if you go down in here to the valley, if you like. But how you'll test your canvas with the liquid white is just put your finger on it. Now I think that's just about right. And if you put your finger on it, and if you get your own fingerprint on it, that's perfect. But if there's a blob of paint, you have too much. It's your own fingerprint is what you're looking for. Straight away now I go into blue, phthalo blue, black, up here. And the reason for the black is to tone down the blue. Tone it down so it will look much more Irish. Otherwise, you'd only think you were in Florida. We don't want to go to Florida. We want to go to Connemara. And if we're lucky, we might come across somebody with a drop of poteen. Is there anybody in Connemara making poteen anymore? Shh, don't tell anybody. Slip a bottle over to me. Shh. And down, and down. Now the brush is on its edge, and that's an exaggeration. The brush is on its edge. And we're down. And I'm going to let it run right down. Very gently now. I'm hardly touching the canvas, down over that mountain and right down, so as it'll grade right down into the valley, down in there. And wipe my brush, and I can pull that off so as I know where the shape is. If I want a cloud coming in, if you want to get out the old umbrella, coming in over, I can just let it go on down there like that. Now, with my 1-inch brush, I'm just going to pull in on its edge, up here, and tap in. And I come up here, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to move now. But never again to go back up to the top of this here. And you can pick up that and let that shadow go right down, that old shadow hanging over there, right down into the base, so you'll have light and shadow. And again, just repeat that several times. Here along the top of that, offload the old paint, offload it. Don't kill the darks. Don't kill the darks. Talk to it. Mind the darks, it's your friend. Now, right down. Just tapping now. Whatever you do when you're doing this system, with all these liquid whites and liquid clear, and you'll find out where they are when you look at the program and you'll see why you can buy these things. But whatever you do, try not to paint. Just tap. Think of our Irish dancers. Great Irish dancers now. We have lauded dance and river dance and all our beautiful Irish young people now able to make a living out of dancing. And then that's great. That's great. And we're all so proud of them. All over the world now they recognise the Irish for the dancing. Now with a clean brush, go right across that, but hardly touch it. Whisper, like a whisper. Like a whisper. Ask it to sit down. Please sit down, Mr. Sky, Mr. Cloud. Please sit down and go away from it and stop. Now, what I'm going to do is pick up some Van Dyke Brown. I'm going to put a little bit of crimson into it. A little bit into it, just to warm it up. And maybe a little bit of black, just to make it go away a little bit. Black and blue. I don't want it to come out too soon. Now, that's fine. With the filbert brush, go well into it and come up here and follow the old mountain range right along and down and down and down and roll the paint off of the brush. All you want to do now is create the illusion of darkness and fill all that in. Fill it in. Don't be afraid of it. This painting is for you and me and everyone. And pull it down with the foreground now. Pull it down with the foreground as though there's a mist in the base. Try and make those noises. I just see if we tap into the base of that, look. Actually, just put a little bit of white there at the base of that. Just to give the illusion of a separator. And just tap into it. Just tap in. Pull it up now. Pull it up. Pull it up the mountain, down the mountain. Any hill walkers watching this, they'll know all about the mountains and there. And up and down, and leave it go at that. And now, that's just to create the illusion that there's a mist there at the base of that. Now, what I'm going to do next is get a little bit of yellow ochre and white. Just clean up this a little bit of white. Not much, bit of yellow ochre. That's it, yellow ochre and white. That's nice. Push in and get a little roll of paint on top and come up here and where the sun would hit that and go right down the mountain. Just let it tap. Don't kill the darks, or I'll kill you if you kill the darks. I'll murder you. Don't kill the darks. Your darks are your friend. I wouldn't kill you. I'm only just joking. Down. Right down. Just tap and leave it. Leave it. Talk to it. Say hello, Mr. Canvas. Help me, Mr. Canvas. And more and more and more. Again, reminds me of the song. Oh my God, I might even start singing. I would sing, but their old director of programs, oh, he's in bed for him today. Oh, he's chasing me around the studio all day long. Anyway, he didn't catch me yet. Now, just pull this up or pull it down. Let it soften. Right down. Whisper it to it. Down. Right down. And notice I'm pulling it down with the mountain down the hill. And then I'm going away from it. Away from it. And now, I get back to my filbert brush. And again, I'm going to go into Van Dyke Brown, Sienna, black. Just a dark colour. You go up the hill, make the noises. What if you're making noises, make sure they're Cork noises. Practice your Cork accent. Up and up. And roll the paint. Roll that paint off the brush. Please roll off, mister. See it turning the brush. And right up. Right up. And here. And come right down. Down. Right down. Right down. I think we should advertise Ireland, or Tourist Board should advertise Ireland abroad for artists to come, because Ireland is a massive, no matter where you go, magnificent scenery. All you have to do, stand in one spot in Connemara or in Kerry or Donegal or Wicklow, and every time you turn north, south, east or west, there's a new scene. You're going to get 4 scenes just standing in the one spot. Now, that's the darken. Let me talk to myself. I won't, because Paul will only give out to me if I do. Right, I'm not going to talk to myself. The last time I done that, those guys with the white coats came and picked me up. And when I got in to the doctor, he says, that's that artist again. He said, leave him out. He's supposed to talk to himself. So there's white, bit of white, bit of black. And you notice, I keep saying a bit. And that's what you should do. Just say bits. Don't be going into the shop wondering, how will I get this colour? How will I get that colour? Just if you want a grey, just black and white is grey. And if you want to warm it up, put a bit of brown in it. If you want to make it cool, put a bit of blue in it. And that's it. Don't be buying volumes of all these books and everything. If you want to buy them, if you're into reading, by all means do it, but don't go to a whole lot of trouble. Now, I'm going to also get a bit of white. I have grey now. Bit of white there. I can use up that colour I had for the mountain here. And a bit of green. And a bit of green, a bit of yellow. Yellow ochre, all together. It's starting to be a creamy green now, creamy colour, and that's what we want. A creamy looking green. Huh. I'd nearly eat it. So creamy. The co-ops would be after me for eating that creamy paint. Eat ice cream. Now, what I'm going to do here is, into the grey, push into it with the fan brush. I want to create the illusion that there's rocks and things happening around here. Not a whole lot, and leave it sit on top of what you have. But leave it go down with the fall of ground as well. Here. Let it go down with the fall of ground.
My Ireland, oh, I'm coming home.
And just keep moving along. Up here, a lot of rocks, stones, etc. all up along there. But don't kill the darks now, please. Over here, and we'll get this to sit down in a moment for us. We'll talk nice to it in a moment. And we'll ask it to sit down. And I'm just going along the hills where those sheep would graze up there. Those farmers have wonderful sheepdogs that go right up there. Round up all those sheep, bring them on down for them. I was going to say something like get into trouble. And they bring them down, and I have a wonderful sheepdog myself at home. The only thing, he's as grey as I am myself. He's old, but we're great friends, two of us. His name is Sam. So I'm going to paint this for Sam, my sheepdog. And now keep the darks. Whatever you do, don't kill the darks. In other words, all those areas you need to mind. They're your friends. And keep going on. You're only creating the illusion as though there's stone and rock face up there. There's a lot of stone there. But notice I'm keeping the darks, my friend the dark. I don't think Sammy ever went up those mountains. He just minds my garden, my home for me. And he comes into my studio with me. And he keeps me company. And now, what I'm going to do now is change to that creamy green. This colour. I did just give the brush a little a little twirl. And I'm going to start bringing some of this growth up from the base. Let it creep up, but not all the way up now. Just let it tap up. Just tap now, don't paint, just tap. And again, do not kill all the dark area. This won't look a whole lot now until we soften it. When I soften it, it will sit down for me then. I'll ask it to sit down. Now if you go in there to Connemara and you get an old bottle, bring it out to me. There used to be great songs about Mountain Dew one time. I often sang with the chorus in the pub. Great singers, and we have great talent in this country. I don't know where this country gets all the talent between the athletes and boxers and singers and bands. Now I'm going to get a very clean brush, and I'm going to soften this very gently, hardly touching it at all, hardly touching, and I'm going to ask it to sit down. Just sit down, but I am also putting it with the flow of the land, the lay of the land. Sit down, please. Please sit down. Whisper to it, talk to it. I'm letting it come down the hill and it'll blend back in, and you'll see all the darks, and that's what you want. Keep the darks. Big, big, big. And coming with the flow of the land now, and ask it to sit down into the liquid clear. The liquid clear is in there working and working, but the only thing you have to do is practice your Cork accent and tell them you were at the Crawford School of Art in Cork and that you're going to charge €1,000 for your painting. And then you can tell your friends after you're only having a bit of fun with them. Go right across this now, right across it to get it to sit down. And I'm going to get black, just black on its own, with this brush. And I'm going to fill all this in with black. Down here, all black, right down into the liquid clear. Remember, we put on the liquid clear now. Up here now I'm going to put a bit of brown, Van Dyke brown, up here. Right up. And a bit of sienna. Bit of sienna up on top of it. Give it a lift. And then I'm going to go away from it. I just have a little clean up here. With the fan brush, straight away into cad yellow. And let it hit and miss. In other words, let it sit on top. Let it sit on top of the paint you just put on. Right up. That's it. In under the mountain, and leave it. Bit of green, bit of cad yellow. Let them mix. Let the shadows in there. These dark shadows, let them in there. And then you will have to say to yourself, go away from it, please. Go away from it. Just soften inside under the mountain. All these strokes now are horizontal. And just one more. And go away. Go away from it. Here, I'm going to get a bit of Van Dyke brown on its own. On the knife, pull across. Get a little roll of paint on it and get in here and just pull directly down to form the illusion of a bank. Right along here, just let the knife, the canvas will take the paint off for you, and come right down and do this. And don't be afraid to do it. This one now, anybody can do it. You can all do this. If you only just started painting, you can do this. It's for you. And me, and for everybody that want to paint. These are all vertical strokes now. Vertical strokes. Right along. Now, just picking that off. Now I picked up a bit of colour. And right along here, don't know why I'm picking up that colour. And again, that's better. Right along to form the illusion that there's a bank. And what I need to do is highlight that bank. So what I do is, I get a bit of white and a bit of sienna, dark sienna. And I go in there, and don't mix it truly, and just here and there, just let the canvas take off of that bank, but don't kill all the dark area. Right along, be very gentle now. Think you have a baby here on the palette knife. Very gentle. Whisper. Whisper to it. Very gentle. And right along there. I'll get my fan brush clean, and I'm going to pick up some titanium white. And I'm going to come right across that. There's a bog water in there. And just let it sit again right on top of what's in there. There's a river flowing along there. And with the knife, go in under the bank and cut into it. And ask it to sit down, because the water will take its own level. Sit down, please, Mr. Bank and Mr. Water. Just sit down. Now you won't do any harm to the canvas. Just cut into it. Cut into it. And there we go. Right along. And in here, you can cut in there to make all that sit down. Right in under that all mountain over there. Now what I'm going to do here is, with a bit of black and a bit of brown, I'm going to push up against that to create the illusion of a grass along here. All along there. Push that back. Get back. Get back. And with a bit of cad yellow, a bit of green, go over here and get it to sit down. Sit down, please. Here we have Van Dyke brown. Another bit of yellow here. Don't kill the darks. Don't kill the darks. Cad yellow. Or this is Van Dyke brown, I'm sorry. Van Dyke brown. My old head is gone. Maybe those guys with the white coat should come and collect me today. I'm not doing that well. Pull in the opposite direction and create illusion of a rock. And then get the old brush and come right around the rock and ask it to sit down. Please sit down, Mr. Rock. Please sit down. And again, in here. And again, you all know me by now, how I love my, I want you to come right up here, how I love my contact paper. And if I can get in here, and if they'll oblige, I catch here, and I pull him off, and I have a sheep grazing there, and his friend is over here if I can find him. And I go in under it, and again, I pull him off. And two sheep are working together there now, grazing. And over here, just under the mountain, I just touch here and there. Don't try, there's sheep over there, but don't try to paint them. They're only an illusion, they're a mile over there. And there's a whole flock of them over there. And when I get my little doggy Sam, we might go for a walk up there someday. And just leave them. If you want them to sit down, just cut in under them and they'll be okay. I go into just Van Dyke brown on its own, and over here there's some stacks of turf. Try and play them against the dark ones against the light areas. And one there. Again, no great detail at all, small one there. And I'm going to say, for God's sake, go away from it. And again, just go into the base of them with the knife and cut across them, and they'll sit down. Say, sit down, please, Mr. Stack of Turf. I don't know, is there anybody? I don't see anybody around my area collecting turf anymore. Have a go at this one. This will suit everybody. And until we meet again, Goramila Mahagat, Shlan Lat, and God bless you all, my friends.
Never left her. Oh, the dark rolling sea, she is calling to me. Oh, I'm coming back home to Ireland. Ireland, my Ireland, oh, I'm coming home. Though I roamed, sure my heart never left her.